You're listening to Sorry.
Today will be mostly sunny and pleasant, high of 80. Degree that.
You're listening.
당신은 지금 듣고 있습니다.
Вы слушаете.
Estás escuchando.
Una sikiliza
to GPSG Radio.
From the Indiana University.
El equipo de gobierno de los estudiantes graduados.
Graduate and Professional Student Government.
Some people talk about it, some people live for it, some people will murder for it, some people kill for it.
Oh, and welcome to episode 5 of GPSG Radio, the podcast for Indiana University's graduate and professional student government. I'm your host, Rick Brewer. For all our first-time listeners, welcome to the podcast made for graduate and professional students of IU Bloomington, keeping you informed about the latest GPSG news and programming, and a place for uninterrupted interviews with graduate students and administrators from all across the Bloomington campus. Be sure to check out GPSG on Facebook and Twitter at the handle IUB-GPSG, and make sure to subscribe to our weekly newsletter on our new Canvas site. Comes out every Tuesday. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe on your preferred podcast app to get free weekly automatic downloads of GPSG Radio. Coming up in episode 5, I spent some time with the IU Grad Grants Center and one of the newest members of GPSG's Diversity Council at last week's GPSG event, Networking and Dessert.
We are a group of graduate students here on campus who help consult with students about the grants that they might want to get to help fund their program while they're here at IU.
On the Diversity Council, I'm looking to make sure that students of all colors have equal access to different opportunities, that we get transparency and different funding.
And we're back with our Bloomington foodie reviews, as you'll learn about Cardinal Spirits and what they've been adding to their menu.
We're making shareable seasonal dishes that complement our cocktails, and that means everything from a chicken liver pate with house-made sourdough.
And you'll finish today's episode with our Song of the Week. This week you'll hear from Double Standard and their song titled True to You.
'Cause the world's just a gray space and it's just not right. These people keep on telling me it's black and white. Falling in between the lines, it's what I do. So do something for me, be true to you.
But first, it's Shay with the news.
Thanks, Rick. This is Shay back with the news. And this week are our second committee meetings for our advocacy groups. If you joined an advocacy group already, then head to Woodburn Hall on Friday from 3 to 4 o'clock. You can get the room numbers online or by contacting your committee chair. But if I were you, I would just walk on in there a couple minutes before 3 o'clock because Rick is really great at making sure he has signs posted everywhere and it'll be very clear which room you're supposed to be in. If you have not signed up for an advocacy committee yet and you want to, you can go to our Canvas site or look up our newsletter online, and there are links to the Google form where you can still sign up for an advocacy committee. It is not too late. You can always join. And then our first big sporting event for GPSG is coming up next week on Tuesday, September 26th, and it is a night for men's soccer game versus Notre Dame. There's going to be free admission. Always. We love free stuff. And then if you stop by our GPSG table, either Rick or I will hand you a voucher so you can also go get some free food while you're there. So all the stuff that we really love, GPSG, free. But also, if you happen to be a sports fan, it should be a pretty good game because IU and Notre Dame are ranked number 1 and number 2 in the country. So come for the free food, stay for the friends, or the game. That's all the great news I have. Back to you, Rick.
This past week, GPSG held its first Networking and Dessert event in the Global and International Studies building. This event is an opportunity for graduate and professional students to meet people from all across the campus and to learn more about professional development. And at this event, I sat down with Justin Rinker, a consultant and one of our special guests from the Grad Grants Center, where he teaches us about all the different services that they provide. And additionally, I had the opportunity to sit down with Shantel Franklin, one of the newest members of GPSG's Diversity Council. So please enjoy this week's interviews from Justin Rinker and Shantel Franklin. I'm here with Justin Rinker, one of the consultants at the IU Grad Grants Center. Justin, thanks for coming on GPSG Radio.
Thank you for having me here.
So, the Grad Grants Center, let's just keep it simple. What exactly do you guys do?
We are a group of graduate students here on campus who help consult with students about the grants that they might want to get to help fund their program while they're here at IU. So that could be travel to conferences, or if they need research grants for things like thesis or dissertation research, we can help them find that. Or if you're interested in something post-degree, like a postdoctoral position, we can help look and apply for those as well.
Does IU offer a lot of internal funding, or is there more of you have to help people find external funding?
We do both. Internal funding, there is an abundance of that on campus. Places like the GPSG or the College Arts and Humanities Institute offer small funds for travel and for research. So we help students with those during our walk-in hours each week. And also we help people find larger grants through external funding sources like the National Science Foundation or National Institutes of Health.
So if someone wanted to make an appointment with you, what can they expect?
We usually do hour-long appointments, and we can either do a search appointment with you to help find appropriate funding opportunities, or we can do consultations on specific grants where you send us a draft of what you've already written, and we will review it and give you advice about how you can improve it and get it ready for submission.
Any success stories?
We have a lot of success stories over the years. We actually had one student this past year get both a large dissertation grant to travel and also a large write-up grant to write up his dissertation once he gets back from that research. So we're really proud of the students who we've worked with this past year.
Now, where exactly are you located?
We're on the 5th floor of Wells Library in the East Tower. We're in room E544. We're right next door to the GPSG offices for people who know where that is. And our cubicles are marked by a large red banner. So as soon as you see the banner, you're in the right place.
Do you have walk-in hours, or can you schedule an appointment?
We prefer appointment consultations for an hour if you will email us or call us in advance to set those up. But we also have walk-in hours from 12 to 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays, but those change every semester. So we'll announce new ones for spring semester once those come around in December.
Excellent. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming on GPSG Radio.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're here at the networking and dessert event for GPSG, and I'm sitting here with one of the members of the Diversity Council, Shantel Franklin. Shantel, welcome to GPSG Radio.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of GPSG Radio this year.
Excellent. So you're a member of the Diversity Council, but I remember at the assembly you had talked a little bit about your background with advocacy and diversity. Update our listeners on your background here.
Certainly. So in my undergraduate career, I did a lot of work with our associate provost for institutional diversity. So I was very heavily involved with her, and we did a lot of different projects, special projects on diversity. In terms of IU, I've been here since 2016. The fall 2016, I started the Master of Public Affairs in SPIA, and in that sense, I've been working on diversity in a variety of ways. I'm currently a master's ambassador for the Students for Equity in Public Affairs. I joined the IU emissary, so I am a diversity emissary for the University Graduate School, so that's really exciting. In that capacity, we push forth diversity in our admissions process in terms of our graduate students. So I work a lot with helping students choose IU. And I look forward to serving on the Diversity Council in order just to push forward some initiatives of diversity to make sure that our minority students here are having a good experience. And not only are they here, but they have the resources and the tools that they need to succeed.
What is it that drives you to be a part of, I think you mentioned maybe 3 different roles of hats that you're wearing right now? That seems like a lot on top of your studies personally already. But what is it that gets you up to do all this advocacy?
Absolutely. So my first year as an MPA student was pretty challenging. I didn't necessarily have all of the resources I needed financially, mentally, emotionally. So I decided to definitely use my experience to put forth some initiatives to make sure that no other student has the type of first year that I had. It was really challenging trying to solidify funding, trying to just thrive in a space where minorities were not necessarily, they didn't necessarily receive the tools that they needed to succeed. So really, it was my experience that drove me and my passion for diversity and to hold IU accountable on all realms. So.
Yeah, I love that word, accountability. I think we need more of that in society in general. But as a member of the Diversity Council, as well as the diversity team, I think is what Animesh, our chair of that advocacy committee, calls it. What are you looking to do in GPSG this year as a member of the diversity team, as we like to call it?
Yes. So I'm actually interested in getting on board with the initiatives that have already been set forth on the Diversity Council. I'm looking to make sure that students of all colors have equal access to different opportunities, that we get transparency and different funding avenues that are there. And I actually look forward to collaborating with some of the already set forth ideas that are there on a Diversity Council. So we'll be all working together, the Diversity Council and the committee, to collaborate on different initiatives that'll be set forth this year. So please be on the lookout for that. That will definitely be happening. So I'm definitely excited to be a part of that as well.
So this is a go-to question here on GPSG Radio. I ask almost every single person I ever interview, and I always love the answers. Your favorite place to get some food here in Bloomington is where?
Papa Louie's. That is like my all-time favorite place. So I just want to give that plug. Somehow I seem to know what the specials are. And if you go on a Tuesday, it's going to be the wings. On Wednesday, it's going to be the boneless. And then on Thursday, which is today, we will have they have sandwiches, which are half off. So I absolutely adore those. So make sure you visit Buffalo Louie's if you have any time while you're in Bloomington.
That is also on, I believe, Indiana, right by the law school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, Shantel, it was a pleasure having you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Justin Rinker and Shantel Franklin. Still to come in this edition of GPSG Radio, our Song of the Week from Double Standard. But coming up next is our Bloomington Foodie Review with one of the co-founders of Cardinal Spirits, Adam Quirk. We will hear about their new menu and award-winning spirits. And now I give you Adam Quirk. I'm here at Cardinal Spirits with founder and CEO Adam Quirk. Adam, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
What made you want to open a distillery?
Yeah, a little bit of a long story, but I'll try to keep it brief. So my business partner, Jeff, and I were both in completely other industries. I was doing web technology. Jeff was actually working at IU for the chancellor. And we both had this desire to make something with our hands rather than, toil away on the computer all day. So that was kind of the impetus. We both also shared a passion for craft spirits. Craft spirits is a fairly new trend, especially in Indiana. Craft breweries have been around since the 80s with Sam Adams and Brooklyn Brewery. And then the trends, as you guys probably all know, it's the craft brewing industry is now pretty massive. There's a brewery on every corner, it seems like. Craft distilling is actually in its infancy. So after Prohibition, all the big distilleries shut down, all the little distilleries shut down, except for a handful of, maybe 2 or 3. So it's really just taken a lot of time to get back to that level where breweries already are. So we're in a young industry, and we noticed that Bloomington had no distilleries, and there were actually only a handful in the entire state. So, we were excited to bring craft distilling back to Indiana and especially to Bloomington.
Describe the sort of the vibe and aesthetic that you're going for here.
Yeah, we try to make the atmosphere here match the spirits. So we think of ourselves as an intentional distillery, meaning that we do focus a lot of time and energy on planning and designing and thinking about what we want to make. Our research and development process for any new spirit takes months rather than weeks. And so we really do think about the design and what the kind of experience we want to create here in the same way. So we bring in elements from industry and from history here, as well as some of the classic bar elements. We try to make it match the flavor and the feel of our spirits.
What are some of your signature drinks? I know this might be a tough question, but you're also really known for your gin.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of good attention for our Terra botanical gin, and we have a whole range of spirits, vodka, 2 styles of gin, 2 styles of rum, 2 liqueurs. I would say in Indiana, our most popular few spirits would be the vodka, the Bramble, which is a black raspberry infused vodka, and then our Songbird liqueur, which is it's coffee liqueur made with roasted coffee from Hopscotch right down the street here. Those are our best sellers.
Now, while you are a distillery, you recently opened up a kitchen, and you're sort of trying to strike the vibe between how the food can sort of match the cocktails. What has that experience been like opening up a kitchen, and what are some of your signature dishes that you've come out with recently?
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. We didn't really we had a very small kitchen before this. We had charcuterie and cheese plates and things like that. So building out a full commercial kitchen was a challenge, but we made it happen and just opened up about a few weeks ago here in June. So we're making shareable seasonal dishes that complement our cocktails, and that means everything from a chicken liver pate with house-made sourdough. We do actually a lot of our dishes are paired with our house-made sourdough. Our executive chef Dean Workerman is from a couple fairly well-known restaurants, Per Se and Charlie Trotter's in Chicago. So he's got a pretty incredible background, and he's been doing bread for a number of years. So we're excited to bring, that level of food here to the cocktail bar. So the chicken liver pate is my favorite. That's the one I always mention first. We also do stracciatella, which is a house-made mozzarella, and it's served in its own way, basically buttermilk. We do we do a pork dish, which is basically a rolled, slow-cooked pork. And then they slice it and quick fry it, served with a lot of fresh herbs. Generally, he tries to find whatever's fresh and local, and uses that on the menu. So that changes pretty much weekly.
Why do you think graduate students at IU Bloomington would enjoy a night out here?
Yeah, our vibe here is definitely more geared towards grad students than the undergrads, and that was also somewhat intentional. There's plenty of bars around here, as you know, that we can go and get a $2 PBR or something, which I frequent those bars occasionally. Although now I have 2 kids, I don't go as much. But we wanted to create something a little bit different, where you could feel comfortable sitting out on the patio, reading a book, having a cocktail, or coming here for a fancy date night, something like that. My wife and I try to get here occasionally when we have babysitting help, and it's always very pleasant. We also try to hire more, maybe not as many undergrads for service. Not to say that they're terrible or anything. We love undergrads here, but we also want to have a level of service that is equal to the cocktails. So we spend a lot of time training our folks, and they have a lot of buy-in into what our vibe's supposed to be here.
What do you think makes Bloomington a great place to own a business?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's a couple things. The IU is always, I think, number one, because IU is the anchor of this community, business and otherwise. And I think it brings such a diverse culture that most Indiana towns aren't the benefactors of. So we get a lot of interesting people who are interested in trying new things, which is unfortunately not the norm in the rest of Indiana. And I think, just the proximity to Indianapolis, the proximity to a lot of other things makes Bloomington a pretty amazing place to live. I love it for the food, the art, the music, all the stuff that you'd love, Brooklyn or San Francisco for, you can have here in Bloomington.
Now, where exactly are you located? I know you're on the B line, but where are you specifically at for our listeners here?
Yeah, we're at 922 South Morton Street, and it's just down the street from Hopscotch Coffee. It's between Grimes and Dodds. So if you're going south on the B line, you pass Kroger. It's a couple blocks past that.
And where can people find you online?
Yeah, we're all over the place. All the standard issue places like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and cardinalspirits.com. Our username is just Cardinal Spirits with no spaces on all those.
Adam, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Adam Quirk, co-founder and CEO of Cardinal Spirits. That about wraps up episode 5 of GPSG Radio. And now we conclude with a song from Double Standard, a pop fusion quartet formed at the Jacobs School of Music. You can find Double Standard on Bandcamp and at Facebook at the handle @DoubleStandardStuff. GPSG is produced and hosted by me, Rick Brewer, with contributions from Shay Smock and the Level Up Studios at the Monroe County Public Library. And now I give you True to You by Double Standard.
Baby, there was no time to think it over when the world's dragging you down, staring at the floor, not knowing the score, when you shouldn't care, looking at magazines to find the answers, pictures that can't be realized, truth seems hard to find. How do you define who you wanna be? Cause the world's just a gray space and it's just not right. These people keep on telling me it's black and white. Falling in between the lines, it's what I do. So do something for me, be true to you. Give me another minute to get over all these trivial needs. Somewhere deep inside, even I confide thoughts I want to deny. And yielding to what is popular will only alter your view on life. Craving perfection without objection, though you're fine as you are. Cause the world's just a gray space and it's just not right. When these people keep on telling me it's black and white. Falling in between the lines, it's what I do. So do something for me, be true to you. Though you think you're flawed, you're perfect in someone else's eyes. Don't go through your life acting, instead be you. Something for me, be true to